Hey there, Mavericks. It's Ms. Cassidy in the counseling office. We are here today to talk to you about course registration for 26-27 school year for next year. So let's go ahead and get started. Just so that you're getting your cards today during second period, and these cards are going to be due for you January 29th or 30th, depending on which day you have English. Your English classes will come down to the multi-purpose room. You'll meet one-on-one with your counselor and finalize those course card selections. So between now and then is when you're going to want to make sure to finalize those, ask questions, talk to your teachers, get your parents to sign, come ask us questions during power hour, things like that. If you don't turn in your course card, then we will end up making selections for you. So make sure that you get this done. Even if you're absent that day, when we call down for you to follow up, make sure you come so that we can get you into the classes that you need and that you want. So things that you're going to need to help you fill out your course card for next year. The academic guide is live online. This lists all the courses available to you with descriptions, prerequisites, so lots of information that you're going to need to make sure the courses that you sign up for are classes you're allowed to take, so that you don't have to make a last-minute decision when you turn those into us because you picked a class that you're not allowed to take. The CTE link has videos and a tour. There's also a new CTE guidebook, and this can help you see what the pathways are available, what classes, what order you can take them, what different certifications you're allowed to get. So it has a lot of great information to help you take career-oriented classes that can help you prepare for the future. We also have the What Counts for What, which tells you what classes will satisfy your fine arts requirement, your language requirement, technology, PE, speech and health, so that you can get those required electives done and on track for graduation. And then also the course application page, which there are several classes that require an application, and those are linked on this page. So it's your job to make sure you go to the application and complete it by whatever the deadline is set by that class. So how do you get there? You're going to go to Emerson High School website. You're going to click Counselor tab and then Course Registration tile. And all of these are going to be linked there for you with anything and everything that you could need to possibly fill out your schedule card for next year. So what are you actually going to do? You are going to take these pre-printed forms, and you will see that the classes that you updated in HACC during November and December are on here. If there's anything that you want to change, you're going to draw a single line. Don't scratch it out. Don't make it messy. Draw a single line through that, and then write the class that you want to change it to next to it legibly. Since you guys are going to be in 10th grade, you have to make sure that your classes add up to 8 classes so that you have a full schedule. This is an example of what it's going to look like. So, for example, this student wanted to not take chemistry but wanted to do chemistry advanced. So they simply crossed out chemistry, wrote in chemistry advanced. You can also note that if your teacher made a course recommendation for math or science, it's going to be listed here so you can see that. And then you're going to have a place to fill in 4 alternate classes. So make sure you use those alternates. We do have to use alternates sometimes. If you don't write anything down for us of classes you're willing to take, again, we might just fill that in for you, and we want to make sure that you have choice in what you're taking. So those teacher recommendations, math teachers are going to recommend based on the courses that you took this year, what's available next year, and based on your grades, work ethic, abilities, what they've seen. If they recommend something that you feel is not what you want to take, you can fill out the math waiver that is located on that course registration tile. You do have to make a copy, print it out. It requires the teacher signature and parent signature and student signature. Turn that in to us before February 12th deadline so that we can honor your course request. Science teachers may have made a recommendation if they feel like you need to take a class different than the typical pathway. But the biggest thing is, if you see a recommendation and you have questions, please have a conversation with your teacher about that so that you can know why they made the recommendation and you can take that information into consideration when you're picking your classes so that you're set up for success. So what classes can you take? Not every single thing listed in the course catalog for Frisco ISD is taught at Emerson. Most things are, but you need to use the back of your course card that you have to see what courses are available to your grade level and are offered at Emerson for Emerson students to take. So you make sure if you write a class down that it's on the back of your card so that you know that it's available. You have to pay attention to course prerequisites. There's nothing worse than you think you're going to get to take a class and then we have to tell you you're not allowed to take it because you don't have the prerequisite. So a simple example of this would be students who want to take health science. In order to be allowed to take health science, you have to have taken med term first. So you take med term maybe as a 9th grader, then you're allowed to take health science as a 10th grader. If you haven't taken med term yet, then you would take med term as a 10th grader, and then you would be allowed to take health science as an 11th grader. The prerequisites are listed in the course catalog, so you need to make sure that you're using that course catalog to double check all the classes you've signed up for on your card, that you're allowed to take them and you've met the prerequisites. First of 1 semester classes. So if you pick a class that has an asterisk next to it on the back of your card, you have to pick a second course that also has an asterisk because that is going to make 2 1 semester classes that will take up a full spot of your 8 spots in your schedule. When you pick a class without asterisks, that means that it's a full year class and it takes up 1 spot. CTE courses. So we have a ton of great classes. A lot of them are upper levels that are taught at the CTE Center. Those are going to be bold on your course card. So when you look on the back and you see a class that's bold, just know that's requiring you to take that course at the CTE Center. You'll have to ride the shuttle over there because most of you won't be driving yet. So just make sure that if you pick that you know that you are signing up to travel. You're also signing up for that class to maybe go first period, which means that it starts earlier. Maybe it's going to go third, which means you have to leave power hour early, or maybe it's going to go fourth, which means you don't get back home until later than normal school hours. So all those need to be considered when you're signing up for classes at the CTE Center. So here's the times. So first period bus leaves Emerson at 8 a.m. if you have a first period CTE class. Third period you will miss probably about 30 minutes of power hour, and fourth period classes don't get back to campus until 5:08. So again, when you're signing up for CTE class, you're agreeing that this class may fall in any of these periods, and we don't get to pick and choose which periods that they fall. So it's just a luck of the draw, and we aren't usually able to move those for you. There are going to be classes that are considered double blocked. So classes that are double blocked are going to be shaded on the back of your course card. That means that they're going to take up 2 spots in your schedule. Athletics is going to take up 2 spots, but it only gives you 1 credit. Many of those upper level CTE classes are double blocked. All athletics is double blocked. Band is often double blocked. So just remember, if you pick a class that's double blocked, then it needs to take up 2 of your 8 spots in your schedule for next year. A couple of new classes. We are offering turf management at the CTE Center. It's a 1 semester class. This would be a good one to match up with landscape design. We are offering sports medicine 2, which would be for our students that are athletic trainers. This does require approval from Coach Curtis and completion of sports medicine 1. We are offering multivariable calculus to students in 11th and 12th, so that's not y'all yet, and this is a non-dual credit option. And then we did add the Frisco Flex program, which you may have already heard about. If you want to take a virtual course, you are going to mark that on your course card with a VL. You'll need to double check that it's a option for virtual learning, and you'll use the course catalog to do that. Not every course we offer at Emerson is going to be taught VL, so you have to use the course catalog. If you sign up for more than 3 virtual courses, you will be considered a hybrid student, and you will not be an Emerson student anymore. You have to do an application, so there are several steps to that. So make sure that you are very clear with your parent if you're signing up with a virtual class. That does require that you're not on campus during that virtual period, which means you have to go home and possibly come back or come late or leave early, and you have to have transportation. There's no bus transportation, and you're not allowed to be on campus during a virtual course offering. Okay, dual credit. For junior or for sophomore year, dual credit is available for a few electives. Dual credit just means that you're receiving high school credit for a college course that you're taking. So you get dual credits, high school credit and college credit, but it's actually a college credit course that you're taking. There are only online options available to 10th grade students. So this would be an additional class outside of your normal 8 periods that you would be taking. You do have to sign up for the class, register, you have to apply to Collin College, you do have to pay, there is tuition, you're paying Collin College to take that class. You need to be college ready, so we would want to look at maybe your EOC scores or possibly PSAT scores if you have those, so that we know that you're going to be successful in that class. It does impact your college GPA, so you're starting a transcript for college that will stay with you forever, even when you're applying to jobs later in your adulthood. Okay, other things that you need applications or approval for. So again, that applications link is on the website. You need to click it to make sure that a class that you're signing up for has an application or does not. And if it does, that you know what you need to do. So do that now so that you are not falling behind. If you don't do the application for a class that requires an application, you will not be allowed to take that course. Some classes that don't have applications that you do need teacher approval are listed, so make sure you get the signatures from the required teacher so that they know to expect you and they can talk to you about that class. So these are the ones that would not have an application but do need teacher permission. Okay. As you're double checking your course card, make sure you've got an English 2 class, that you've got a world history class, that you have the next math class in the sequence, and that you have the appropriate science course. If you have questions about these, again, come see your counselor or any of the counselors during Power Hour in the quad so we can pre-look at those before these are due at the end of January. You can also make sure to get your required electives done. So everybody's required to have 2 years of the same world language, 1 year of a PE course or PE equivalent, health, speech, 1 year of technology, and 1 year of fine arts. So you can use that what counts for what to make sure that you have taken these or that you have a plan to take these. The earlier you get them done, the more options you have junior and senior year for other courses. Again, athletics is double blocked. You are not allowed to single block an athletics course without coach approval, and those would be extenuating circumstances because you can't do it to allow another program. If you're a multi-sport athlete, you're going to put the sport that comes first in the year, and then we will adjust that as you try out for different sports later on. If your tryouts are going to happen the first week or 2 of school, so if you put a sport and you haven't played it yet, or you're not sure that you're going to make it, those happen the first week of school. And then if you don't make it, we will have you down to adjust your schedule once we have those. Band is normally double blocked. The top 2 bands require double blocking, drum line, and student leadership. We'll have auditions in the spring for band. Choir is going to require you to put either choir master or orchestra master. Again, auditions happen in the spring, so just make sure you're picking the master classes for these 3 fine arts classes: band, choir, and orchestra. You're not going to pick the level, you're going to pick master. That's a placeholder so that we can then fix it in the spring once you've had auditions. There's no changes to your schedule after February 12th. So between now and when you turn your cards in, and then once you turn your cards in, you can make any final changes by February 12th at the latest. Just something to keep in mind, there is an opt-out for fine arts and athletics to keep you participating. So we want you to keep doing those all 4 years of high school and not drop out because you feel like it's going to impact your GPA. So to help with this, if you have 2 years of participation in athletics or a fine art credit, on-level fine art credit, not art, then you can opt out for that to count in your GPA as a junior and senior so that you don't feel like you need to drop it and it's not hurting your GPA. More info to come for that next year when it's actually something that you would consider for junior and senior year. Make sure you sign your card and have your parents sign your card and know that you're agreeing, that you understand the deadlines, that there's no schedule changes, that you're committing to 6 weeks in advance or AP class. So read that now. Make sure that you sign that. You're going to have to put alternates. So alternates are used if we can't get something to work in your schedule or if there is a conflict. Use the back of the card to fill out alternates. These are classes you're just as happy to take as the other ones that you picked. The more information you put on your card, the better that helps us if we have to use one. If you don't list alternates and we need one, we will just pick something that we think would be the best fit. So if you don't want us picking for you, please write your alternates down. So again, these are going to be due the 29th or 30th. Make sure you bring them that day. If you want to have a copy, you need to take a picture of it at home or on your Chromebook, and then make sure your parents sign it so that we know that they know what you're signing up for. Okay? And as you're picking your classes, remember, you can't do it all. You can do lots of things, but you can't always do them all at the same time. So think about all of your commitments. If you have a job or extracurriculars, if you're picking lots of advanced and AP courses, how are you going to have time to do it all and still lead a balanced life? So just put a lot of thought into that so that you are not overwhelmed and overworked next year and you can enjoy sophomore year. Have questions, come see us in the quad during Power Hour. You can always sign up to see us using the bit.ly in the counseling office. You can email us. We're happy to answer those questions. We can't do pre-meetings, so we're meeting with you individually at the end of January. But between now and then, you can come and see us in the quad or ask questions so that we can get those done for you. We're excited to get you started for sophomore year, and we will see you soon.